Hello, everyone. Welcome to Just Live Tarot, where we take our power and our lives back into our own hands as best as we are capable. Today's collective reading is for the sign Gemini for their sun, moon, or rising. Cross watchers are welcome. Geminis, please remember this is not a personalized reading, so please take what fits, flip energies when necessary, and if it don't apply, let it fly. Gemini, we're going to be looking at finances for the rest of September 2023. Gemini, I do ask that you stay tuned. While this is a new channel and I finally figured out how to post videos instead of lives, I will be posting again for your sign soon for the month of October. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if you prefer I begin doing a reading on your interpersonal relationships, or if you prefer I focus on finances for the month of October. I do intend on doing both at some point. Just let me know what you'd prefer to see first. And it looks like the sun card is trying to fall out of the deck right onto the sunny glare, so we're going to put that out there. Now, with the sun card coming out the deck like that, Gemini, this is telling me that you are either just now entering or you are soon about to enter a time of financial prosperity. If you've been struggling with your finances, Gemini, hang on tight because something is about to break through for you in a way that has you feeling not only relieved but secure, safe. It's almost like when you give off you know how some people give off a nervous laugh during situations that aren't remotely funny, but you just can't help but laugh out of nerves? It's kind of like that, but instead of it being nervousness, it's relief. It's like you can't help but laugh because look how everything just seems to have fallen into place like a rabbit out of the hat at the final hour type of situation. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. Do I take this? I got no. What do my Geminis need to know regarding their finances for the remainder of September 2023, Spirit? Father God, I ask that you grant me the clarity and the wisdom to interpret these messages as accurately as I can for the collective of Gemini, that they may be able to make decisions in a more informed manner. Thank you. Ah! We got an Ace of Swords. I was just talking about a breakthrough, and now we get an Ace of Swords. Excellent. Excellent. I love to see it. Love to see it, my Geminis. Oh, this is so great. I'm excited for y'all, Gemini. One of my closest friends is a Gemini. I have a Gemini sibling. So I take these really as exciting news as I can. So Gemini, with the Ace of Swords, we're talking about the concept of victory and a breakthrough. As I was mentioning earlier when the Sun card came out, if you have been, you try to get out of that glare, if you've been struggling in a financial situation, those struggles will soon come to an end. I want you to remember, Gemini, that when this breakthrough comes in, that you are to remember the lessons that came during the struggle period that you may have been going through so that you can move forward in a way that will allow you to evolve higher than you were before your prior downfall. When I look at breakthroughs with a sun and with the Queen of Pentacles baseline energy, what I'm looking at here is not a sense of going from here to back here again. I'm looking at going from here to all the way up here. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I mean when I say evolve. This is a breakthrough on multiple levels. This is not just a breakthrough of getting into the safe. This is a breakthrough of getting into a higher situation than before. Now, it's not going to come easily to you, but it is something that I see going to happen. The key to this is to be mindful of keeping your sense of logic and reason in check with your emotions. Geminis, I know that your minds are so fantastical that your brains just process things so rapidly that sometimes you can even find yourselves getting bored because you know what the person's going to say before they finish saying it, or you can see where a conversation is going to go before it gets there. And sometimes you have a lens of what you find to be a logical way of thinking, and you may be frustrated when others don't seem to be working within a similar train of logic. It may seem nonsensical or even foolish, and I don't mean in a playful way. I mean in a what what's going on in that head of yours kind of way. So with the King of Cups, this is inviting you to balance that with a bit of empathy for others, as well as being true to your own emotions in the meantime. Do not try to logic and reason your own heart space. Remember that emotions are meant to be felt at its fullest spectrum. That doesn't mean to allow your emotions to control you. That's what the King of Cups is about here. King of Cups is about allowing himself to acknowledge and identify the emotions within himself, others, and the situation around him, but still maintain the objectivity required to make decisions that have to be made. Um, but doing so while being conscientious at the same time of how those actions may make others feel, including yourself. He's also very intuitive, so it also is inviting you to apply a little foresight to whatever plans you may be making. And if you decide to go through with it that way as advised, then you'll see that you're going to find yourself a lot happier with yourself, your situation, and with others when it comes to your interpersonal relationships as well. So I don't know if you are the type of Gemini that gets along really well with his colleagues, or if you're a Gemini that dances on this isn't going to resonate for all of you, but some of you Geminis are in a position where the balance between your work life and your home life is grayed. So you may have individuals at work whom you are legitimately friends with or more that play a role in your life outside of work as well, and vice versa. Right? I don't know why that's coming across so strongly for me, but it seems like there's a gray area where your work life ends and your home life begins. And I don't know if this is your way of trying to balance work and play in your own way. Um, but if that is the case, then all the more reason to be mindful of the decisions that you make, being conscientious of others. Now, what you're going to find yourself um, experiencing, Gemini, is a new way of looking at things. When I have these two cards together, the Hanged Man and the Fool, I'm looking at the concept of having a new lease on life. With the Hanged Man, we're talking about having new perspectives based off of already had experiences and putting it together so that things look differently now than they did before. Hindsight is 2020. If we look at the Hanged Man a bit more closely, we see that he's actually not bound against his will. He's kind of just relaxing. Look at him in reverse. It just doesn't get this chill vibe. You know what I'm saying? He's like this, because this is kind of like how he gets the blood flowing. This is how he gets his thoughts going. That halo of light around his head is enlightenment from having experiences that he didn't have prior. This is why he's able to see things differently than everyone else. Everyone's looking at things like this, right side up, but he's looking at things like this. And so he's able to approach things from different angles. And he's able to process things differently as well and give different approaches than most people because of these experiences. And with this is brand new beginnings, a new life journey, starting a new chapter of your life. And just because Spirit likes to show off and try to bring things to a full circle, we have a little cameo from the first card that came out, which is the Sun card. So, not only is this a brand new beginning for you, but this is a brand new beginning that you may feel excited about, invigorated for, rather than the gloom and doom of change that is unwanted. This is a change that is very readily and happily welcomed. This is also kind of like looking at life through rose-tinted lenses. So for you, you may be looking at life in the way that we would probably see the spring season, where everything is just kind of blooming and there's new hopes and everything just has a sense of newness to them. This is the kind of invigoration that you may be finding yourself feeling coming very soon. I heard fall season. I heard fall season, Gemini, and I'm smelling coffee. Um, I'm smelling coffee and I'm feeling as if. Give me a second, Gemini, please. Sometimes I get channeled messages that interrupt my thought process, and I want to make sure that I'm catching that so I can deliver it. So, I'm what I'm feeling right now, Gemini, is the air um around me, like the temperature around me, as if I just came inside from being outside on a stroll. Um, and then coming into the smell of coffee. So I don't know if this is someone walking into a coffee shop, if someone just likes to make coffee at home, if someone really loves their Starbucks, whatever the case may be, this is giving me very autumn vibes. I'm hearing apple, cinnamon, apple cider, apple cinnamon. So I don't know if Halloween is a prominent time for you that you get excited about, but this is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Perhaps you're thinking of a Halloween event or something with your peers. It might be some kind of work related Halloween event that you might be thinking about, or inviting friends from work to some kind of Halloween related thing. I don't know, but I'm getting the sense of togetherness, like bringing people together and just kind of enjoying yourself. I feel like this is your way of kind of letting yourself go and letting loose, and like decompressing after feeling stressed or strained. You're going about it by kind of letting yourself recharge. Some of you might be extroverted, letting yourself recharge by having quality time with friends or family or something to that effect. This might be something along the lines of what you intend to do moving forward now that things have started to turn around for you. You may find yourself appreciating quality time with certain people more often and seeking to demonstrate that. Something about living life a bit more fully. So I don't know if you feel like you've been trapped in like the humdrum of your same same pattern, same schedule, every day and nothing changes and that just has been draining for you, but it feels like this new I can't wait for this. Like you're anxious in an excited manner. I'm gonna do. It's like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go and make sure that I plan this out. And just remember, Gemini, not to get too carried away, and don't make promises when you are excited and happy, unless you are certain that you can fulfill those promises once those fleeting emotions fade and you come back to a sense of neutral calm. Um, Now, with the baseline of Queen of Pentacles, we're talking about a sense of independence. So, uh, some of you, I feel like I'm talking to two very different kinds of Geminis here. On one hand, I have a form of Gemini that really thrives in social gatherings and social situations. And then I have this other group of Gemini that rather keep to themselves with a small, select, chosen few. Um, it's two very contrasting groups of Geminis that I feel like I'm talking to here. Some of you may be transitioning from one form of Gemini into the other form of Gemini as well. So if you were someone who really put your focus and priority into interpersonal relationships, parties, friends, so on and so forth, you may find yourself um, being more, I don't want to say introverted, that's not the word that I'm looking for. You may find yourself being more focused on doing things in your own solitude and enjoying your own solitude the way you used to enjoy being in a large group of people. Now that doesn't mean that you just find yourself not wanting to go out and socialize. That it's not like that at all. It's just more of this in this phase or in this not phase in this chapter. For some of you, it might be a phase. In this chapter that you're entering, you may find yourself wanting to kind of stick to yourself more. This would make sense if you're coming out of a financial situation and you're trying to rebuild um, your. I heard stack your paper. Um, I heard it in a very East Coast accent, so I don't. I don't know if I'm tuning into Gemini's in the Northeast coast of the United States, but that's more or less the accent that I just heard when I heard stack your paper. Um, Some of you may be on your grind, so to speak, replenishing your finances. And that's why you are finding yourself wanting to keep to yourself for now because you're being disciplined with your spending to a degree because there's certain goals that you have in mind that you want to meet. And you're learning that you can't be as frivolous with your spending as you'd like to be just yet. But there will be a time when you get to let loose and do exactly that. But you're more planned about it. And that there's something about a logic system that you're holding in terms of how you're planning to do that. So it's like, no, I'm still the same me, but some of you feel like you've just, I'm going to be very blunt with you, Gemini. Some of you feel like you are just grown up now. And I put that in quotations. Not saying that you were immature or just not being a grown up about things, but in your own perspective about yourself, you feel like you've reached a state of growth where a perspective change was necessary and you're kind of liking this new perspective change and what it's bringing into your own life for you, and that it's being done by your own intentions and will and actions. There's something extremely appealing about that for you, and you're finding enjoyment in that. Some of you are finding greater pleasure in not having shallow connections with people. I feel like some of you are at a point where you're looking to just kind of dismiss a great bulk of your shallower connections with people and invest more in people whom you feel you have a closer rapport with or a deeper connection to. You want to invest more into them and spread yourself less thin. You're finding a different degree of enjoyment in having those forms of interpersonal connections. This is interesting because this was meant to be a finance reading, but it's tying into your interpersonal relationships as well, Gemini. Um, I don't know if that's typical of you or what you would expect, but that's how it's coming across to me. Um, I'm not picking up. I'm sorry, I'm still getting channeled messages for you, Gemini. I'm not picking up on anything at the moment regarding romantic connections. And that's not to say that if you're single, you're going to stay single, and if you're not single, then you're going to break up or anything like that. It's not like that at all. It's just a matter of at this current moment, there is nothing coming through at all for me regarding that. It's more along the lines of your interpersonal connections with others are remaining focused on loving yourself first and foremost. I don't know who needs to hear that, but I feel like some of you are in a position where you have discovered that you need to focus less on not to be harsh, meaningless relationships. I don't know if you feel that strongly about some of your connections or prior connections with people. You're finding yourself letting go of a lot of shallow connections so that you can focus that energy on yourself more, and then by extension, focus what's left on your more closer connections. So if you have friendships that have kind of just been lingering, but they're friendships with people that have lasted a long time, you may find yourself wanting to connect with them a little more closely. If you have new friends who seem to come off to you as people who can become close friends, you may also find yourself pulling them a bit closer. And if you have people that you're acquaintances with that you might have maybe one point in your life gone to a bar with and had a drink with, and then that's it, call it a day, and just have no interaction with them other than that at any other point of your life, or individuals that you would probably talk to at a party because it's a mutual friends or something like that, you're finding yourself not really bothering with them anymore by your own choice. So it's just you kind of refocusing your priorities essentially, and you're doing it out of your own volition. All right. Well, I hope this helps, Gemini. If the messages resonated with you today, please feel free to click follow and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. If nothing resonated today, please stay tuned to future posts. Otherwise, thank you for stopping by, and as always, be good, be happy, and be safe. Take care, y'all.